So guys, this notion of holiness and the belief that holiness is beautiful is actually armor against the schemes of our enemy. It protects us against the temptation, the schemes of our enemy to separate us from life in Christ. Sin, guys, is acting on the belief that our enemy's way of life is better than God's. Sin is acting on the belief that our enemy's way of life is better than God's. Sin is choosing to follow a path that was actually created for my own destruction. This is how we have to see sin. It is choosing to follow a path that was created for my own destruction, rather than following the path that was designed for our freedom and for our eternal joy. Remember this word schemes that Paul uses earlier on in this passage. It's this word that can be used in a military context to speak of military strategy against the enemy. So our enemy is scheming against us. So Paul says, put on the breastplate of righteousness. Holiness is protection against the work of the enemy. An old Puritan minister by the name of Thomas Brooks, I love the way that he put this, speaking of how sin pulls us and tempts us, how the enemy's temptation pulls people away from Christ or separates them from Christ or keeps them from walking to Christ. He says this: when 1,000 are destroyed by the world's frowns, 10,000 are destroyed by the world's smiles. The world sings to us and sinks us. It kisses us and betrays us like Judas.